Hello everyone and welcome back to another League Racing video. Today we're here for the pending episode of PSGL. This took place a little while ago and it's the Belgian Grand Prix at Spa. Now before we jump into this one, I'll leave the previous race in Jeddah linked up in the top right. Go check that one out before we jump into spoilers. And then also, if you're going to enjoy the race and this video, leave a like and subscribe. And yeah, I've got an announcement to make. So, in both PSGL and WOR, I have officially dropped to reserve. I'm no longer a full-time driver, purely because I wasn't happy with my performances. I wasn't really enjoying it. The motivation has run a bit dry for me at this stage of the game. And also, I thought my bad luck has been pretty bad, so I'm just struggling to find motivation to kind of get back on it for another race. So, with that said, I'm basically going to be doing the races that I fancy or feel like doing or have the time to practice for from now on in both PSGL and WOR. Now, in the background, you saw the championship standings, and now you can see we've got rain about an hour into this session. Now, it's a short qualifying, so there shouldn't be any big issues. So, yeah, let's get into qualifying. By the way, chat, I'm going to gamble this entire qualifying, and I'm going to try and take the curb at Les Combes, both of them. So, let's see. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. And yeah, straight away, pretty much, karma struck straight away, and we tried to be aggressive. That curb at Les Combes is so deadly. If you guys try and, take that curb, it's going to spin you 8 times out of 10 or 9 times out of 10. Nonetheless, we went back to the pits, got a front wing change, we're back out again. Fresh set of soft tyres, fresh set of boots, and going for another push lap. Hopefully this time we can make it work. Heading down into the Fania chicane. We nail the first apex, then for the second one, we just go a bit too aggressive and end up cutting at the apex, which is a real shame because the lap was actually pretty decent as we make our way into sector number 3. I'm driving like a pussy. We're going to finish the lap as you see me get frustrated there. Listen, I just can't do this track, man. Doesn't matter how many laps I do. I could do this for days. I just can't do it.
You're like Thompson, decent.
It was a bit, like, it looked okay, but it was a bit pussy-ish. Safe.
I think the final part, yeah, but I think the first few parts were quite good.
That's just not a bad delta, though. I'll take that. It's a decent delta for my last lap.
Dry seemed like the fastest tyre at the
I thought it was
moment.
going to rain. I'm not going to go lapping. The weather's just turned. Now, a lot's happened. We finished the previous lap to give ourselves a delta to aim for on the last lap. We set a 41.4, I believe. And rain is inbound. That's raining. Fucking hell. And literally, the rain was already coming down on the outlap. So we're not even going to get a full clean lap in between my mistake on the first run and of course the second one with the track limits, and then unforecast rain arriving way ahead of schedule in this short qualifying session. Our last lap is going to be massively compromised. We do set a lap, but it's going to be way off the pace, and we set a 43.7. The last cut to set a lap time basically is P13, better than last, which in this case I believe is P16. But yeah, Ron Har on pole. Looking at the pace, we did a 41.4 on that second run, so it would have been somewhere in the P5, P6, P7 region. Had I got a clean lap, we could have maybe even improved on that last run. So I do believe a top 5 was possible pace-wise. And I did actually practice quite a bit for this one, but we couldn't quite show the pace due to weather and also my mistakes. So yeah, that was it for qualifying. We're now going to move to the race and see if we can turn it around in what is a dry race all round. Now then, let's jump into strategy for this one. So medium, soft, alternate strategy for the race. Possible rain right at the very end, similar to qualifying. But mostly dry, and dare I say that rain at the end, not really enough to affect the tyre strategy in principle. So here we go. The lights are on at Spa. P13 on the grid out of 17 cars, and we're underway. It's not the best start as Simon Prugny and Jonah Martins get great starts in the Alfa Romeos. Also Joost Noordijk, I believe, on my outside, and also Paris Burrell as well, making moves, and it hasn't been the best start. Not particularly bad on my end, it's just the inside line didn't end up being the best racing line into the first corner. Paris gets ahead, Joost still behind for now. Meanwhile the Alfa is battling away, and you can see we've got Svetkov and Joost battling side by side behind. We're going to try and aim for the outside line to Les Combes. There's a bit of contact as Paris gets spun around, and his teammate Manolo VR involved as well. A bit of chaos, a bit of decent going on there, but we're out the other end of it in P14 and still with a front wing as we lose Paris from the race. Heading through turn 8, turn 9 now as we try to settle into a race pace. We're going to see if we can recover some of these places, you know, get ahead of Manolo, Yona and also Perigny and move into P11 as we run a little bit wide there through Pouon. But for now, the main thing, we've still got a front wing, which is very valuable at this stage because Spa, it's a tough circuit as we're struggling for car balance. You can see through there massively as we have a huge moment out of the Fenier chicane. Car feels like an absolute pile of shit. And those are my thoughts at the time of my feelings in the car.
So if the car ahead got damage?
That's what I'm thinking. Don't think so. He would have pulled over. Well, I'd like to think so anyway. And yeah, Manolo didn't have damage, so we kept on. Lap 3 now, DRS enabled, and we can start to get a bit dicey, get the elbows out, and make some moves. So we're going to try and see if we can attack him here. Try and force him into a mistake. And you hear me say I'm going to try and force him into a mistake. So we're going to use a bit of battery, a bit of DRS, and we do actually manage it as he runs in deep into Lecombe. We're going to try and go on the outside and try to surprise him there. You may have expected a switchback, but instead I went the long way around. Bit of contact as we go through Malmedy, and on the inside here, that inside curb is very, very slippery. You have to be careful. Side by side, down into turn 9, but we have to just back off as the outside isn't the preferred line through there. But yeah, we just locked on there with our wheels and lost a bit of time and didn't execute the overtake. Manolo stays ahead though, and we've got Joost Noordijk behind looking for a way through, and I don't want to battle too hard, you know. There's always this fine line as Manolo gets really out of shape through the Fanian chicane, and that fine line is that I want to make a move and, you know, get ahead, but if it's going to cost us DRS and, you know, dropping out the DRS train ahead of the cars ahead of us, that's not worth paying the price for, because we're going to basically ruin our entire race if we lose DRS. So I'm not going to fight for now. We'll just sit behind Manolo and try again maybe another time. We're going to hopefully see Manolo close the gap to the cars ahead as we have a massive moment as we outbrake ourselves into the bus stop and we lose a load of time, and that gives Joost an invitation here to have a look. We're going to use a bit of battery, edge back ahead and stay in front for now. Manolo will recover and get back into DRS range of the cars ahead, therefore reforming the DRS train, and yeah, the race continues on. So onto lap 5 then, Manolo out of shape again through the exit of the first corner, and we're going to try and see if we can get once again onto the back of him and close in. Zvetkov has retired as well.
Caution, caution.
Oh fuck.
Oh, big pressure areas, yeah.
Okay, slow down, slow down. Your delta is negative, which means you are
This
too
is not
fast.
good.
Reduce your pace.
This gives the soft runners a way up. And yeah, safety car deployed. Norbert Jacob DNFing up Eau Rouge and Radion having a big crash, and into the pits we go.
Confirmed. We'll
Not that it
receive
matters,
you
I'll
at
be
the
last
end of this
anyway,
lap.
but still. The bad news, as you heard me say, this benefits soft runners because they can just complete their one stop and no time loss at all.
So, Perigny and Joost stayed out.
Unfortunately for us though, because we're on the medium, the soft isn't going to make it to the end. Now what we're going to do here is basically get the soft on for one lap, so we, you know, complete the regulations and then move back onto a medium or a hard tyre. If he asks for the hard tyre, I'm going to get stuck behind him again. He's going to be my thorn in my side this race.
Okay, you only have to stop once now. One stop
He's
left.
going to be the pain in my arse.
If you could jump on the restart, you should
Understood,
be
stopping
fine.
this lap.
So yeah, end of the lap, we're going to box once again, and we're going to go back into the medium as we have another fresh set and take those mediums to the very end of the race. That's going to be the plan. Manolo VR also joins us in the pit lane with the same idea. Well, I went over Manolo behind me for traffic, so.
Yeah, and Jonas stayed out.
So there we go, into the pits, on to set mediums and going to the end of the race.
Exit now.
The Villacamp crash. Oh, sorry, the Jordan crash. It was a fault.
Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound.
Now admittedly it's going to be tough because everyone I believe is on the same tyres, so there's going to be a big DRS train, so overtaking is going to be very difficult. So realistically at this point you have to start being strategic, and that is, in my book, being clean, going for moves when the opportunities are there, and making sure we don't get a penalty. That's going to be really key this race, I think. So let's see what happens as we get back on the way. Forgotten what it's like to drive again, it's been so long. Now there was quite a long safety car period, longer than usual, and I'm not the best at restarts. I can start well, but my actual race pace, racecraft, takes a few laps to really get into the rhythm, which has been a bit of an Achilles heel for me on this year's game. I struggle to really commit on the first lap or two while the tyres are not fully up to temperature. And also, of course, racecraft and rhythm comes into that as well. On to lap 11, midway stage of the race, and I do believe the DRS is now enabled. Manolo's trying to get by. You can hear me say Manolo's trying to get by. And the one thing I realised in the race, he had a lot more straight line speed than me. His wings were very low, as I was using battery and DRS, and he was still pulling me in. So I realised, as we get a massive donation live on the stream at the time, I think we had about two levels of difference on the wing, or maybe like 2 and 1 on the 2 on the front, 1 on the rear, something like that. Manolo gets by. To be fair, nice good move, clean move. I tried to go back up the inside through here, and we edge ahead, but into turn 9 again, like before. Just go, whatever, I'm bored. The inside line just has a better preference and a better line through there, and we have to yield and back off for now. So we're back down to last place at this stage. It's getting a bit dirty, so just making my distance.
Yeah.
Hold
One
this.
hot to
Wing.
2, so the top 2 now.
Duncan Hoffman, take that. Via camper as well. And now I can get Manolo back. Here we go. Now literally as I called it, it was time to get a bit dirty, and literally something happened. You know, these guys were getting frustrated, because it is frustrating being in a DRS train, as you have to really work hard for moves, and it can be annoying that you can't overtake cars. But here you've seen a drag race with VR. We're going to try around the outside, but he's pretty good on the brakes. But he's sliced back underneath and tried to go for the exact same move again there, but I could see this time it wasn't going to happen. Tarabukin here has wing damage, so we're going to follow through up the inside and thus move into P11 just outside the points. He's got some very fast straight line speed. You can hear me say there, VR's got some very high straight line speed, as we've gone to the end of lap 14 now, so it's kicking off. People are getting annoyed, and it's getting dirty out here. So we've got a car in the pit lane actually. That's Simon Perigny, the championship leader, behind of course Ronha, who has now been promoted to top split, so he's no longer racing in F2. So yeah, Perigny in the pits, which is big, as a championship leader himself. Down through Pro 1 though, we get our first warning for track limits, which isn't too bad. It took me 15 laps to get one of those, which is pretty decent for me around Spa. Nonetheless, just at this point, just following really. Jonah Martins struggling on soft tyres and possible damage as well, I believe. I think it's just tyres. I think he pit for those softs under the first safety car, and it's basically now struggling with tyre wear and ERS management.
Carter's got back in the middle sector, so train's back.
I'll wait and see if Jonah pits. If not, I'll drain my battery on him to get by. Now you can see Jonah's light flashing, and I was going to use my battery to go past here, but I feel like he's going to pit. That was my gut feeling at the time, hence why I didn't commit. And I was right as he goes into the pit lane. So, up into P9. I was prepared to drain it on him there, but I thought about it and realised he's probably going to pit. Just trying to not get another warning. I got one on the last lap. If I can go to the last lap with this warning, then I've got a real chance.
You've got one warning.
Yeah. So I don't want to get any more, and then I can really push in the last 2 laps or so.
Yeah.
Nope, never mind, I've got 2 now. Fuck. And again, I don't know how many times this happened in this video, but I've jinxed myself in a good way. You can't do that. And in a bad way, so many times, as pisses me off when people do that. You can hear me get frustrated there with Olaf, who ran wide out of Savlo. People do that sometimes to avoid getting a warning for track limits.
Yeah, so drain here, he's got nothing, so...
You hear me say getting encouragement there from Luke Humphries, my engineer, to go for the move, and we do that up the inside. Nope. Whoa, my god. It was really close, as we had to hold our breath. Fine to run me out of road, it's all good. And yeah, we got Joost Noordijk in the pits. Olaf there, just running me out of road at the final corner. And it was close, man. I held my breath. We almost ran to the back of Manolo. I'm not going to try that, otherwise we'll lose DRS. But yeah, we're going to be smart here and wait for DRS. I don't have a ton of battery left, so yeah, we're going to be smart about this and make the move easily.
Nolo's lost it.
Correct. Oh, I guess we'll have to use some battery to try and catch up. And you can hear Luke say that Manolo VR has lost DRS on the top 5, which isn't really ideal. So let's just keep following him, and if he's out as well, you know, sticking with the pack here, and we'll see what we can do. If we can clear Manolo, that's a top 6 we're looking at, which is pretty decent considering, you know, qualifying and where we started. No, fuck's sake.
You've been awarded a time penalty for that last incident.
I just hate this track with a passion. Fuck. That's going to be P8 then. And yeah, unfortunately, slam dunk penalty. Very, very close if you watch it back, as Manolo has a huge moment on the last lap of the race. Somehow, I don't think he got wing damage, which is crazy. But we have a penalty now, so that's going to relegate us to P8. Yeah, doesn't matter if I get him. He's got a lot of penalties. So. And you can even say it doesn't matter if I get him because we're going to finish P8. He's got one more battery than me anyway. So all I can hope for really is some post-race penalties or something. But yeah, pretty much not much we can do at this stage. Just bring the car home, keep it clean, and we'll concede P8 to Olav. And yeah, overall, a decent race considering qualifying. Oh, Ron Hart won.
Yeah, he managed to get the gap.
And yeah, Thomas Ronhart with the win ahead of Luke Smith. Pedreño P3 ahead of Carter Lundy and Jordan Poland, and then Olaf Socko P6 ahead of Manolo VR. I believe that bugged out. Those two were swapped around after the race. Perigny P9 championship leader and Joost Noordijk P10 with the fastest lap. So there's your final running order. A few penalties towards the bottom and some damage and crashes, but all things considered, P13 to P8 could have been P6, but we lost in multiple combat with Manolo having got ahead, in the pit stop phase. So yeah, a bit of an L to take, but also it is points, but not really the amount of points I'm looking at. And if you look at the fastest laps, the pace was actually okay. But yeah, championship standings. Since this race, Hungary has happened, and I didn't race because I've been having so many PC issues. And again, going back to the intro, the motivation and the will to perform and drive hasn't been there, so I decided to not race in Hungary. And also, from now on, I am a reserve. So the next race, we'll see when it is. But for now, this is how things are going to look. And yeah, guys, that is it for the race here today. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe for more. And we'll see what the future holds for League Racing. Hopefully I enjoy it much more than I have been. But as always, a massive shout out to the channel members for supporting the content. Finally, check out the 2 videos on the screen if you haven't seen them already. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, take care. And it's goodbye from me.